Well, my name is Kathy Roberts, and I live in West Monroe, Louisiana. And actually, back in 2009, I was, no, 2008, it's been a little while, I came to see Dr. Sardar because I really felt like I just wasn't getting anywhere with my weight loss. And I was doing a lot of traveling at that time. It was getting more and more difficult being on an airplane. And he was the first to actually tell me about the gastric sleeve surgery, which, being a nurse, it was, I thought, the best option for most people, especially for me, because it allowed me that flexibility to go ahead, get it done, and start my weight loss and not necessarily be tied to having to come back and do other things. I lost pretty much about 115 pounds fairly quick. Have managed to keep the majority of that off. I'll play with a little bit, 5-10 pounds here and there, but you know, we're talking now going on 8 years. And so I know without a doubt, without the surgery, I could not have kept this weight off for that amount of time. Well, I didn't have fear so much because of being a healthcare person myself, being a nurse, but my husband did. He was concerned because I had at first talked to him about maybe having a band, and that was reversible. But the fact that a gastric sleeve is a permanent change, he was a little nervous. But again, being a nurse, I'd taken care of plenty of people who'd lost part of their stomach for other reasons, had gastrectomies due to ulcers or whatever, and I saw them go on to live perfectly normal lives. So I knew that taking away a piece of my stomach was not going to, you know, impact my long-term health. And that was, once I told him that, he got better. Well, the big thing that I do remember is not long after I lost the majority of my weight, my husband and I were always scuba divers. And being overweight, I did always have to have help, like carrying my gear, getting in and out of the boat with my gear on. And the first dive trip we went on after I lost all my weight, not only could I climb up and down the stairs with all my gear in across my shoulders, but I could get up out of the boat without having to take everything off and hand it to somebody before I got in the boat. So that was like a big yay for me thing. I was really excited about that because I was able to take care of myself and not have to have anyone else do it for me. Yeah, I actually had metabolic syndrome, which is near like an early predictor to sometimes for diabetes. I carried a lot of weight in my middle, so I had some insulin resistance. So I was not yet having sugar problems, but I was on the borderline. I was also having some hypertension and hyperlipids, you know, elevated cholesterol. And all of that went away after my surgery. And right now I'm not on anything except vitamins. That's all I've taken for the last 8 years. I think the first thing is that the self-confidence that it gives you. You think that probably, especially myself, I think, you know, I was always pretty outgoing and everything. But yet when I had this and they were asking me, for example, for a pre-weight loss picture, well, I didn't have any because I always made sure I was the person taking the pictures. I didn't want to be in the pictures. And so the fact that now I'm willing to be out there, I've taken part in a lot of community efforts that put my face out there, that put me out there in ways that I probably never would have done prior to having lost the weight. Well, I think first and foremost, they need to know that this isn't a quick fix. It is something that you have to make a lifestyle change regardless. So I think first and foremost, being the educating nurse that I am, I would want to be sure that they were doing it for the right reason. And if they were doing it for the right reason, then I would tell them, yes, it may be permanent, but that's going to be the good thing. That's going to be the thing that's going to allow you to always have control, where right now, being overweight, you're using food in other ways, that this will kind of help you. It'll be a tool. And that's really what this particular route is. It's just a tool. It's not a cure-all, fix-all. And so you have to, I think when people talk about doing this, I think education is key. It's very, very important that they understand that this is only that, just a tool that it will help you jumpstart, but you still have to think about doing things that are healthy, thinking about a healthy lifestyle, and letting it be just that. Use it as a tool to make those changes that you would want to make, but before maybe didn't have the willpower or the stamina to do it on your own. Well, I will say first and foremost that I think Dr. Sardar is one of the most genuine physicians and surgeons that I've ever dealt with. He's a good, kind-hearted man, but he also takes to heart what he does for his patients. He wants them to have a good result, and he's very good at what he does, and so therefore we do have good results when we use Dr. Sardar. My thing with Marci that I love to tell people is Marci is so approachable. She's never, felt like, well, as I mentioned, I was traveling when I first had this done, and so I had a job that required me to be gone most of a week, and there were times that literally she gave me her cell phone and said, call me, if you're at some restaurant or you're somewhere and don't know what you can have or what is the best choice to make, call me. And I did take her up on it a time or two, so just knowing I had that lifeline, so to speak, in her, and I still feel that way about her. I know that even 8 years later, I could pick up a phone and call her and she would help me in any way I needed.